Good day, Molweni, Sanibonani. Guys, we're back. We were not able to have our live chat in our usual time slot of 12 to 1. Our guest had a technical issue which was beyond his control, so we rescheduled our live for 5 p.m. We are here for that. And yes, we are hoping that you guys will enjoy, you will be with us. I'm already seeing people who've already logged in. Snenjabulo Jackson, hello. Sawubona, Snenjabulo. Yes, guys, log in and then we will add our guest and we will get this show on the road. Remember, guys, as the conversation is going, you can ask questions if you have, or if you want to make a comment on the conversation, then yeah, feel free to ask or comment. Just drop us a comment on the comment section and then we'll be able to read your comment as well or ask your question. So let's wait until Sibe in Tanzania, okay. Let's see if our guest has joined us. I'm not seeing him yet. Dogotela, if you all have joined, just give us a wave, please. Remember, guys, our guest today is Dr. Nathi Sibhoko. He's currently in Port St. John's, but we will let him introduce himself and tell us who he is and what he's all about. Hi guys, I see you. I see you. Puto Stressless. If you see me, shout hello, hiya. If you have friends, tell your friends to tell their friends that WSU is live. Tell them to like our page on Facebook. And yes, Snenjabulo, we do have IT courses. You just need to go onto our website and okay. Just a second. Doc, if you haven't liked our page yet, like our page so that we can add you in our conversation. I see you've joined, but I'm not seeing you as a viewer. Snenjabulo, visit our WSU webpage, www.wsu.ac.za, and then you can go on study with us. You'll be able to see everything that you wish to see as far as possible qualifications in IT, as far as those are concerned. Hello, Guguletu Mdenimia. Premier. Okay. Okay. Doc, can you request to be on the live, please, so that I can add you? I don't see you as a viewer. Can you request to join the live, and then I'll add. Guys, the doctor has joined us this time. So sicela ukumbona please Doc. Doc, abahlali, they want to see you. So yeah, let's give the people what they want. I'm waiting for Dr. Nathi to send us a request so we can add him on the live, guys. Otherwise, I've seen him on the comment section. He's with us. Technology is not technologing. It's a Friday, guys. It's a Friday afternoon. Someone just asked, are you crying? Why would I cry, Sim? Okay. All right, Doc. Asikunike a chance, mtas. Asikunike a chance. Okay. So, on our current viewers, do we have anyone who studied at WSU? If you have, just indicate on the comment section and tell us what you did and which year you did your qualification or you got your qualification at WSU. While we wait for the doctor to join us. Snenjabulo, tell us, where are you from? You've been quite active. BSc Chemistry 2014. Okay, hello. Was it a qualification that you enjoyed, Mia? And would you encourage somebody else to do BSc in chemistry? I think recently we had a guest who also did BSc at WSU, but I think hers was in botany, if I'm not mistaken, botany and zoology. She gave it a props up. So when Amia, did you enjoy your BSc chemistry? Would you recommend it to others? Hi, Nathi. Okay, Snenjabulo, we have Snenjabulo all the way from KZN. You know, guys, this is when you wish Uber technology had dialed dial-ins, then I would have just dialed our doctor. I enjoyed maths instead of chemistry. We do have BSc in mathematics, by the way, so it's never too late. Maybe you could try that out. Okay. Okay. Hi, Udok. Udok, why efuna ukusiphinda another speech? Speeches session had a very rocky start, but you know what happened? Turned out to be one of the best sessions that we had. All our sessions are always amazing, but I mean, his was a bit rocky, but it turned out to be superb. So I'm also hoping that this one, Doc, is going to be just as superb. Okay, there we go. Let's add the dog. Hello!
Hello.
How are you?
Hey guys, as those tech, we are not that good on them. Yeah, so
We thought doctors knew everything.
Nah. Not the tech stuff, That I can assure you. Yeah. Especially when you don't spend a lot of time on socials, also it just does make you a bit rusty around these things. So I think that was the main issue. And I assumed that the browser version would work, but it's not working. So I had to download the app and then log in on the app. Yeah, because I thought that's why I couldn't connect. It's because I was on the mobile browser. Otherwise, how are you doing today?
Well, then, Doc, we're doing great. Thank you very much. Nice of you to finally join us this very cold Friday afternoon. Okay. Doc, they're saying that your audio is not too great. So, sicela ukuthi uphakamisa izwi kancane.
Oh yeah, can you hear me now?
We can hear you guys. Can you confirm on the live, those who have joined us, can you confirm that our guest is audible today? All right. Let's say silence. Let's assume that silence means yes, you're audible. Doc, thank you so much for joining us once again. Unfortunately, we were not able to have our session in our usual time slot of 12 to 1. Of course, these things happen. Let us welcome you to our afternoon session. Introduce yourself to us, rather. Who are you? Where are you from? What do you do?
Oh yeah. First of all, I'll say thank you guys for choosing to have me on your platform. I'm always grateful for such opportunities, just to get a chance to interact with other people, because you don't lock yourself in an island and just keep to your work. You just need to be in touch with what's happening out there, and also be in touch with others who would like to have a look into what you do and see how it could actually inspire them or motivate them or give some clarity. Otherwise, igama lam, am I allowed to speak Xhosa on the live?
You are. It's an African university.
Yeah. No, otherwise, igama lam nguNathi wakwaSibhoko, born and bred in Port St. John's, and grew up for a great part of my young years. I went to Little Flower Junior Secondary School, Little Flower High School, before I went to Walter Sisulu in 2012. So I basically currently am a practicing independent practitioner. I work in private. I used to work in the public sector before, but I chose at a young age to go the private route. And I am currently based in Port St. John's, my hometown. The reason greatly influenced by the fact that these are my people. This is home. I want to be closer to my parents. I want to be closer to my family because it's something you can do that you can take your skills and go and serve the world. But it's something more special and close to me to be home and make sure that whatever I can offer, I just offer it to the people at home more than anything.
Sure. Okay. Now, Doc, you matriculate and you have all the opportunities at your disposal. You decide, I want to study at Walter Sisulu University. Why do you want to study at Walter Sisulu University, and what do you want to study at Walter Sisulu University at this point?
It's actually a funny story. I tell it all the time. In matric, I basically hadn't made up my mind by what I wanted to study, but I just knew that I'm actually going to do one of the skills courses or something challenging after high school. So I basically applied for engineering disciplines mainly in Gauteng, Wits, Cape Town, Western Cape, UCT, and I only applied for medicine in Musu because I knew that's the only thing I wanted to do there. I basically didn't have a second choice or a third choice or anything. It was just it, you know. And it was just keeping my options open in the things that I was interested in pursuing after high school. But I was not limiting myself to one thing. And after we passed matric, WUSU sends out invitations for interviews for medical school. So basically, all the other universities start their admission programs, registrations around February, and the interviews are immediately after the results are out. You know? So I tell my parents that I've been invited for the interviews. They say, no, you should go, check it out. And at that time, I also got admissions for engineering university that were confirmed. And I'm like, even if I'm gonna go to Joburg, even if I'm gonna end up going to Cape Town, but let me just go check out these interviews. And also, my dad was a great influence because he actually, you know, was so motivational towards the direction of me actually pursuing this career path. And I went to the interviews. Weekend passed. I think the interviews were on a Thursday or Friday, and then on the Monday we got a response that you've been admitted into medical school. So when that response came, my parents were like, we don't think there's any reason for you to check out Joburg options and Western Cape options because we sorted, you know. And also on my side, it was something that I did have an interest in, you know, but I just hadn't boxed myself. I was exploring mainly whatever could be like a path that would give me as much opportunities as I can get and also give me a greater chance, you know, growing up, you know. So when it came up and it was confirmed, I thought, you know what, this is it. I think I should go there. I think I should figure it out from there. And I don't want to lie, I've been happy with that decision ever since. You know, it has served me well. It has served me well, and I think also the older I grow now, the more I learn about it. Because I think also the information barriers, you know, are what makes us doubt or second guess this career path. Because you never know what's going to happen next. You don't have as much information as you should, you know. You always think, what if I hit a wall? What if this is limited? You know, I think it's something that's going to give me a great future, but it might be limited at some point. So it is only those questions that you have because of the limited information that actually calls you. But other than that, the more I'm in it, the more I know that, you know what, there's so much to learn, there's so much to explore. It's a beautiful thing.
So now you make this decision. You're coming to Walter Sisulu University as a medical student. You are finally here. Describe your first year to us. Was it anything you imagined? Was it as challenging as you would have liked to be? Because you did say that you also wanted a challenge. So was it as challenging? Did you find it to be of interest?
Or the first year in medical school is basically, especially the first semester, it's a continuation of matric. You know,
Okay.
we actually do physics, we do chemistry. It doesn't feel like medicine at all. So it feels more like you are actually finishing off high school. And at that time, you know, we have been preparing for the final exams. So everyone is sharp with the chemistry, everyone is sharp with the
True.
physics. So it's a smooth adjustment in that regard. And as much as the physics and the chemistry and the biology that they teach is more focused now on human elements rather than generalized and options that actually teach you chemistry as related to animals and other things that you might not need much going forward with medicine. So they limit it in a way that focuses mainly on how this chemistry and this physics and this biology is important if you're going to pursue like a course that demands you to know more about the human body. So it was an exciting first semester. And also, what actually made it comfortable in the academic space was because I actually, you know, had a solid group of friends. So we coming from high school, same high school, and we also having our friends in Tata who are coming from Tata High. So it was basically a good balance for us, and it was easy to just know how to adjust, how to change from the life of being in high school and actually be able to meet the demands of the academics in the university space, because we supported each other so much. We pushed each other to study. As a result, by the end of the first semester, we were more of a bit comfortable of someone actually breaking from the group and trying to understand this concept on their own. But in the beginning, it was more of a group effort and it worked.
Speaking of support, we usually have, not sure if you still remember, Dr. Kolosa.
Yes.
He usually says around June, if you see a medical student, give them a hug, you know, because they're probably going through the most. And you're also mentioning support where you are using friends as a support as you go along with your studies. What sort of support systems are available for a medical student within maybe the faculty and also the university at large?
In terms of support from the faculty and the university, they've got a stable mentorship program. I think it was a program that they began years ahead of our time, and I think it's a program that's even running even now. And we actually still call our mentors from school mentor even years after passing school, and they still call us their mentees even years after passing school. So there is a program that they introduce you to at orientation stage, where they allocate students in second year or the third year to the first year students in a program that's called the mentor mentee program. So this program is aimed at making sure that every first year student has got a senior student that actually like helps them with whatever challenges they might be facing in the first year. And more than anything, they helped us with their resources. So you basically get into first year, your mentor gives you all their books, all their notes, all their question papers, and besides now this support that you will get when you hit a wall or when you have challenges, but they also make it a smooth start for you, because when most of us go into medical school, our bursaries have not yet been activated, NSFAS is not activated, and I remember in the first year, my parents actually paid for my registration. So now things like textbook could go on to be expensive for Black parents and other people who are actually coming from families that even had challenges with registration and stuff. So this mentor mentee program actually cuts that for you. The guys teach you how to make use of the library. There's a full-on medical library, but now with our medical library, the resources would be limited. They wouldn't be able to cater for all of us in terms of available textbooks, in terms of, available computers, but you would get something that could get you going and also share with the others, because that's another thing that is big, within the university. If I'm not using something, I always give it to someone who wants to use it now. I can borrow it back later. So that was the culture that we built. So if I have these 2, 3 textbooks, even though it's not enough for the entire semester, but I'll be sharing with others, and I'll be actually ensuring that everyone has what they need when they need it. So that was basically what helped us a lot. The available medical library, I think it was in third floor in the faculty building or something. And then our mentor-mentee program, it played a great deal. It made sure we're comfortable. Not only in the first year, I think the entire program.
We, on our platform, we have potential students for first year in 2025. I think, would you like to share with us what a typical day of a WSU medical student look like, to get them going as well, maybe to also get them excited in, do I really want to do this?
Yeah. I think a typical day of a medical student is something I'll break down mainly in the first year or up to the third year, and it changes from a typical day in the fourth year up to the final year.
Okay.
So the excitement might not be there when I tell a first year student that you're basically gonna be in class from the morning until 5.
You don't
the only
touch a syringe.
Exactly. The only time you're gonna be out of the lecture hall is lunchtime, and sometimes you're gonna feel like the lunchtime was squeezed a bit. The lecturer went above, because there's so much content in the first year that they want to push. They want to give you a solid ground in terms of human biology, physics, and chemistry to help you going forward, because you need a lot of that to understand the systems that they teach you later. So it's a lot of time spent in the class in first year. It's a lot of time spent in the library. It's a lot of time spent in the study center. Basically, there's some days where you spend some time in the lab, but on most days it's in the classroom, And then it changes now to be the exciting part that people would see on all these medical series and everything. Where you go to the hospital, it starts to be exciting. You start to like experience patients, interacting with families, like working on real human problems, and working with specialists in various fields. That only happens from the fourth year.
Okay.
So the first 3 years in the program is called basic sciences, which mainly is self-explanatory. They're making sure that you've got a good scientific background and foundation before you go on to your clinical years, which is working with people and working with patients. So it gets more exciting, I would say. To me, that's what it was, because it felt like a lot of theory first year to third year. But from the fourth year, it gets more exciting, because now you've got days where you are in class, you've got days where you are having tutorial sessions, and then you've got a lot of your morning sessions, which is morning until 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Most of it you spend it with patients. And then it's only in the afternoons at 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock where it's usually contact classes. You're doing a bit of theory, you're doing a bit of tutorials. So I think one should at least have those expectations. They must not come in with the thought that as soon as I land there, we're going to hospital, we're saving lives,
We're going to have like a Grey's Anatomy type of scenario.
Exactly, and also that's what people post on socials, they be in their scrubs and they be posting saving lives, but they're only going to class. So I wanna tell the kids that there's no lives to save in first year, none at all.
This point.
You're going to school strictly.
Doc, can you share with us a memorable clinical experience that you may have had as a medical student in training?
Yeah. As a medical student in training, I would say the things that basically excite us are different.
Sure.
I used to be excited by a lot by theater time, which is observing operations, assisting in operations, to a point where at least by the final year they give you a chance to actually be a lead under supervision. So that was the most exciting part to me. And I still remember the first time I actually did something in theater. I was on call. I was working because as students they actually make you attend to the hospital until 9 o'clock in the night. That's what we call being on call.
Okay.
So we work with the doctors that are on shift on the day. And I used to love surgery a lot, as I said, theater and everything. And this one day I was working with Dr. MBChB, Dr. Malongo, and Mr. Mtimba, the current vascular surgeon in Tata. So the most exciting part of it all was when they would ask me to suture the skin, at the end of the operation. It's something I still remember to this day, because that's what, in as much as the entire theater staff, the tired nurses, they feel like, oh my God, another student, we are about to spend 30 minutes waiting for this boy to finish stitching the skin, because they know that it's probably a learning phase and everything. But, I've been watching this for a long time. I've been fascinated by it. We've had our background of training in the labs before we went to the patients. So I do have a bit of a comfortable group with it. And I really didn't delay everyone, but it actually gave me the touch and more interest. And it gave me that fire to say, you know what? This is it. I think now you're finally doing the thing that you came here to do. So I think it's guys like that and mentors like that who will actually now introduce you to an experience that will make you realize that you maybe are part of something meaningful, and you maybe are at a stage where this learning is something that you need to take very seriously, because it's going to get you somewhere and it's coming with a lot of responsibilities. So I think that's one of the days in my clinical practice that I'll never forget. And even now that I'm in private, I'm still very much in touch and close relationship with those mentors. I think they created and they brought that spark in me. They made me love this thing even more. And they still continue to support me so much. Even when I'm in private, got a good relationship. They keep advising me here and there. I keep interacting with them with stuff that has to do with patients. And they are amazing mentors. And that's what Wusu does to you. It actually gives you a lot of these brothers and sisters. You are treated more like a traditional black family, where it's not this one from that side. You guys are taught to actually live and do everything together and operate more like brothers and sisters rather than family. So I think that's one thing that I'll always appreciate from that space in Wusu.
Yeah. So, Doc, you said you now you are in private. The skills and the training that you gained from your time as a student at WSU, how have you infused it into your practice? Because now it's not just about waking up and getting instructions from whoever, Now you are running your own business. How are you managing that business along the business aspect of being a doctor, as well as now practicing being a medical doctor? How are you combining those things from the skills that you've gained at WSU?
I think to try and answer that one. Basically, the skills at WSU sharpen you so much in the in the patient care space, But when it comes to the business of medicine, other opportunities outside patient care, it's most of the things that you learn as you go, and you need a lot of mentors outside medical school. I think medical school prioritizes mainly teaching us patient interaction and giving us the skills necessary to make sure that we treat these patients well, and also the program on its own, being a community-based type of program, it basically trains you more to actually look into the aspect of primary health care, community-based care, and actually taking care of people from the rural setting up to the tertiary hospital level, because we are exposed to patients at the clinic levels, which is like small clinics in rural areas. Remember, some went to Bazia and Gandilizos. And also, we move from that and learn what happens in the hospital setting, like your Mthatha Generals, your Mali Zombetha, district hospitals. And then we learn from the tertiary hospital setting. We are trained in Nelson Mandela Academic Hospital, and we are trained in East London Hospital Complex, which is Makiwane, and what's this other hospital? I just forgot the other one. Prayer Hospital, because I never went to East London, I went to Port Elizabeth. So in the Port Elizabeth Hospital Complex, which is also part of WUSU, we are trained at PE Provincial Hospital, we are trained at Doranginza Hospital, we are trained at Livingston Hospital in Port Elizabeth. So these are the hospital networks that expose you to a wide range of patients and a wide range of skills, because not everything that is there in Nelson Mandela you will find in Livingston, but not everything that is there in Livingston you will find in Mandela. So we have been exposed to that more. But if I'm honest with you, when it comes to the business of medicine, when it comes to health tech, when it comes to all the advancements that are made by the field, one would go on out of personal interest to pursue and research that more. And I think also with medical education or medical training being supported or funded more by the government than the private sector, I think the government doesn't entice the curriculum that.
We can't hear you anymore. You are still muted. You are still muted. I don't know what's happening. We can't hear you. You're still muted on my side. Okay. I wonder what the problem is. Let me see. Okay. I think I may need to drop the live. Yeah. Okay, so sorry about that, guys. I think our doctor is going to join us again. Let me add him. Let me add him.
Hello, sorry about that, man. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Doc.
Oh, so sorry about that, man.
No, that's fine.
Came in.
It's not a problem.
Call came in. Yeah, I'm hoping that I don't have another call, because because we do this on cell phone, you cannot like block calls and have network on. Yeah.
These people are jealous.
Yeah.
They don't want to see us prosper. No, Doc, it's fine.
Yeah.
Doc, we're using this platform as a way in which we are trying to recruit students to apply and be interested in qualifications offered at Walter Sisulu University. What advice would you give a prospective student who's interested to study at Walter Sisulu University, particularly who would like to study medicine?
I would say if you're interested in studying medicine in the country, Walter Sisulu I do highly recommend. It has taken great leaps in growth, and whatever used to be a challenge in the past, there's many challenges that the university has overcome. The program has grown so much in quality. We've got a high number of specialists that are being produced by the university, way higher than before. And we've got a program that is growing from strength to strength when it comes to research. These are the things that I was gonna touch on. That back in the day, there were some challenges and some areas where we're lagging. But one thing that WUSU has never lacked, it's patient care, it's clinical skills. Most of the professionals that are trained in our university, when put in front of a patient, at least they know what to do.
Sure.
And that's an important thing, because all these other things that you will want to explore when you want to advance yourself, these are things that you can learn later. But you can never learn to do the right thing later. It's something that has to be a priority, especially when it comes to people's lives, And the university paying a special emphasis to clinical skills and making sure that we are sharp when it comes to that element. I would say it's a strong selling point. I would say to someone, if you want to be at least a doctor that will not be harmful or danger to the society, WUSU is a good place to start, because you might know so much in theory, but if you've got blunt clinical skills, you might not be an amazing doctor.
Sure.
You might be good in telling the stories, but you won't be good in taking care of the patients. So with how the program is set out in WUSU, with you spending 3 full years of the program in patient care, I think it's something that sharpens you so much, so that when we start working, our first year of work, I remember the first day of my employ, I was actually on call. So, which is you going in for your first day and it's a 24-hour shift already.
Sure.
That's the first day, And it's someone who would say find it as an extremely shocking experience, where if you are actually intimidated to some degree with patient interaction, 24 hours is going to be a lot, especially when the last time you were here, you were a student, and today you come in, you are called the doctor, and you are called someone that must take decisions and do something, So I would say that, WUSU on that part is actually a leading university. I've worked with our counterparts from other universities. We do have areas that we will differ in, where one will be good in some areas and another would be a bit, sluggish in those areas. But I do want to say, when I look at it and having an experience to have worked with people from other spaces, I would say that our people have been sharp when it comes to skills, when it comes to patient care. And I think that's the important reason we are all there. All these other things that we learn later that doctors can do, it's not really what attracts a child from the village to medicine.
Yeah.
A child from the village doesn't know health, tech, digital medicine. They don't know those things. They know that a doctor is someone who takes care of sick people. And if a university offers you training that actually brings you closer to what you find as a career that will be fulfilling, which is taking care of those people, I think the university plays its part. And I think, to me, that's the one thing that I would put first when encouraging people to explore the option of studying their medicine in WUSU. I think that's where we lead.
You mentioned a child from a rural home coming or not knowing much about medicine. All they know is that I want to be a doctor and I just want to better my life and the life of my family. What advice would you give to that Andy, for example, who's coming from Mqanduli, who has now been accepted as a medical student at WSU? What advice would you give them in transition from home life into a medical student at WSU?
I think the biggest advice that I would give, not mainly a student that's going for medicine, but a student in general, coming into the university space, because I think this is not unique to medicine. It's that university is completely different from high school. You know, with high school, you basically are spending time with people from a similar background mostly.
Sure.
But when it comes to university, it's people from a whole lot of different backgrounds. You know, and it's people who basically do not feel the same about the opportunity of being in that space. You know, there's people who have everything to gain from staying on track and getting what they came for, you know, and there's people who really have nothing to lose, you know, they've got everything set up back home, you know. But what I would say, because our university is regarded as a rural university, in all honesty, from my experience, I've had majority of the class being kids from rural backgrounds, you know, and not necessarily poor backgrounds. That I will emphasize, because most of us now, as black kids, we are not first generation scholars, you know, in terms of the academic space and the university. You find that we are raised by teachers. I, for one, my mother is a teacher. My father is in business. So I personally wouldn't say I'm from an impoverished background. Most of our counterparts, we are from similar backgrounds, middle class families. You've got parents that at least can give you something to eat, but you will find the extremes, those one or two kids in the class that are really struggling. You see that the situation back home is not that great, but we cover each other's backs because obviously we come from those same African families who say everything we have we share, you know. So, but the important thing is that when you get there, just at least know why you are there, and if it means something to you, make it a priority. A friend of mine last week posted something that touched me that says, if everything is a priority, then nothing is a priority at all. You see? So you need to get there. You need to understand that if I'm a student, it means my occupation or what I do for most of the time is studying. You know, you don't get there and studying becomes something that you do sometimes, you know, because it means you have forgotten that in that 4 years or 6 years that you have cut out by USU, the main thing for you, the main priority should be studying, not making friends, not exploring other things, not experimenting with stuff that you've always wished to experiment with, which always happens. But you need to say all these other things, there must be other things, and the main business or the main thing should be studying. Doesn't matter if you're doing law, social work, medicine, but if you do that as an African child, believe me, you are setting up yourself for success, you know, because you're gonna be missed by a lot of things, but one thing that's not gonna miss you is what you came for. You know? I think our program, the medicine program in USU, if someone spends time with their books, they are almost guaranteed to be a doctor, you know, because the program is set up in a way that, in as much as it's challenging, there are support structures, there is, you know, a solid background of how to approach things, and it hasn't changed over the years. You know, if you do what you are told to do, you most cases will get to the desired or the requirements of advancing to the next level. You see, so if people really do take their studying seriously, in WUSU, you almost guaranteed to be a doctor if you get into admission, you know. But if you get there and prioritize other things and explore a lot, you know, things happen, and we've lost our friends.
But now, Doc, talk to me. As a medical student, Nina, you life, like, what is, like, you keep saying, prioritize, books. Nowhere do you say, look, there's a social life at varsity, and it's not a secret, you know. Do you guys, as medical students, get to experience the social aspect of being a student in a tertiary institution, because kaloku asifuni nigowe bantase. Is there a balance? Is there a chance to strike a balance? And if so, did you even try it out?
No, I would say, in all honesty, with the intensity of the medical program, it's impossible to strike a balance. But the reality is that we've had a life, and maybe we've been more social than some other people that didn't have more demanding programs. I think remembering my university years, I've actually played sport in university, because coming from high school, I used to play rugby.
Wow.
Both my brothers played rugby. My younger brother is still involved with rugby even now. So got into university, I was playing in my first year. I did have an injury beginning the second year, and it made me feel as though, honestly, I'm no longer playing rugby because I'm interested in exploring it as a professional. So the injuries are well not worth it. That was a strike off point for me to say that I'm not coming back here. I'm good, And later on,
You tapped out.
I definitely did. I was like, no, it's not worth it. Because I wake up on a Monday, I've got a sore body, I have to be in class the whole day, And I felt like, no. This thing shouldn't be for someone who has the amount of pressure that I have academically, And also, we travel for games on weekends, So it takes up a lot of your studying time. So if you are a student that's not that involved in sport at the time, you would use Friday to socialize. You go out for a party or a sit-in, or you go on a night out with your friends, and then on Saturday and Sunday you'll be studying. But if you're playing rugby, on Friday you're literally not doing anything because you've got a game on Saturday.
Yeah.
The game is well out of the entire time. Then you're coming back late with a sore body. On Sunday you can't even take care of yourself. On Monday you're back in school. You didn't study as much because you actually used your whole weekend for the rugby game, So for me, in that part, I felt like I'm never going to strike a balance. It's always one being a sacrifice over the other. And now it's coming with injuries, so it's not really entertaining. So I withdrew from that. I did get into student politics a bit. I was a bit of, politically inclined from high school.
Okay.
I've always loved politics. It's a very interesting thing. It's also interesting to study these other guys, because politicians are really interesting people, So I was into student politics. Also, that didn't play out that well, because back in the day, it used to be believed that if you in the faculty of health and you are involved with politics, you will influence other students to actually have political approaches to things that would rather be sought and solved the medical way, which is a standardized hierarchy where problems are approached from the top down. And now politics influence the ground level to actually take problems to the top, So you would be seen as someone that would pose a threat in that way, to say, if you are really pressed with these politics, we are going to suspect when there's a strike that you are the one who called comrades to take us out of class, because you are a comrade yourself, So I noticed that, and I thought, okay, this is not an amazing space to involve myself a lot in, because I do want to be a doctor more than all these other things that do make me happy, but these are other things. So I kept the main thing as the main thing. Then when it comes to, socializing, entertainment, there was InterVarsity that we went to Grahamstown for, we went to Port Elizabeth for, we had a job, we had a good time, like outside the books, medical school, me and my friends, we definitely had a good time. But the good time would be, it's not a balance. We putting what we should be doing on hold, and we would regret it later, but we spend over like 18 hours some days studying to compensate for the time that we took out. So if you want to have a balance, you'll never do it. But if you know that I can let this one thing wait and then do this other thing, then you will socialize, you will enjoy varsity, you will not be stuck in your books.
Doc, we are in an application season, at Walter Sisulu University currently. What subjects does a prospective medical student need to have done in high school, and how well should they have performed in those subjects?
Or there will be minimum requirements in particular subjects, but the bigger advice I would advise someone that is in metric, who is actually still having a chance to work on their academics for the rest of the year, is that in as much as there is minimum requirements on some learning areas, you basically need to treat all the other learning areas with equal importance, because there's also a point system that is very limiting. And also you're competing against, a great deal of metrics. I remember in the year that we went in, it was said there were 16,000 applicants for medicine, and they would only go on to take 100 students from metric and 20 students as postgraduates, which is people who've done other degrees. So imagine in 16,000 matriculants, if only 100 of you are going to be taken. So if you look at the minimum requirements, you might sell yourself short. You must just say, I want to do the best that I can do with everything, not that it's just the minimum requirements. But when it comes to these requirements as they are put out in the prospectus, in the list of programs outside this advice of mine, they say mathematics should be level 5. They say math, they say life sciences and physical science should also be level 5. They say there's English that should be a level 4. Yeah. So with those, I will say I know in my class most people were level 7s in these things. You see? So I want to tell a matriculant that forget the minimum requirement that's on the prospectus, do the best that you can, and as long as you are above the minimum requirement with all these listed ones, then even the others that are not listed, like your geographies, your Xhosa, you still do well. You will make the total points that are required. That's a very important thing, because if you are 1 point short, you won't go in, even if you're level 7 in math and physics. So we focus mostly on the highlighted learning areas, and it's always a problem. I've got a friend that ended up not doing medicine because they were one learning area short when it comes to the minimum requirements. And one would say it's only this that I'm a level 4, everything else is level 5. The problem is that no one will accept you, because there's other kids that are level 5 in everything, level 6 in everything. So with you being 1 point short in a particular learning area, it's not something that could be understood or anyone could compromise for you. So if you're a student right now, make sure you dial in on those minimum requirements, but just make sure you pass everything, because you're going to be competing against almost 20,000 other kids, and when they actually break it down to invite kids for interviews, I don't think they invite more than 500 kids. So out of the 16,000, they go through the results, and after they see the results, they will actually say this is 500 or 600 that deserves to be interviewed. Then they break down that 500 down to 100. So you just need to just be on top of it. It will give you a better.
No, that's true. Doc, every career has its challenges. How have you dealt with challenges in your career as a private practitioner with the skills and the knowledge that you gained at WSU? How have you been able to manage whatever challenges you face currently in your workplace?
I would say one of the things, that I would take home from my medical training that is still helping me to this day is that the strong emphasis on a doctor being a lifelong learner. It has helped me, because I always understand that with all these years of experience, almost 5 years in the public sector, 2.5 years in the private sector, I still do not put myself under the pressure of trying to know everything or trying to have answers for everything. So, and that actually allows me to say when I'm faced with problems, I don't do a guesswork on people's lives, because I've been taught that you can actually investigate problems. You can actually work with different possibilities in your head and say, this could be this could be that. And unfortunately, we don't roll bones and have answers. So we say that if it's all these possibilities, how can I confirm what it is, you know? So these are the avenues I need to pursue. I need to maybe take imaging to study more, take blood tests to study more on what could be happening in this person. And then also go home, open my textbooks, go online, use the resources, and just study through the patient's condition so that I can be sharp. Because how they used to manage things 5 years ago, 7 years ago, when we left school, these things have been changing every year. The guidelines have been changing every year. So to be in a position where you can humble yourself to say, it's almost impossible that I can have all these answers and know this all. In as much as people come to you with the assumption that the doctor knows it all, but you leave school from our precious university there, understanding that you are going to be a student your whole life. You should be prepared to go and learn your whole life. And when you don't have answers, you need to always be in a position that's willing to discuss with other colleagues that are senior, that have specialized more in the areas. And that way you actually save yourself a huge deal of stress, and you also treat people the right way. That is one thing that I will always say has been keeping me going in my private practice, and hasn't made things as stressful as they would be if I would isolate myself and work as an island.
Sure, I hear you. Doc, we're almost done with our time. Do you have any last words to medical students currently and whoever is watching us who wishes or who knows someone who would like to be a student at WSU? Any last words you'd like to share with them?
I think my last words would be that one should understand that this is a very demanding career, and in most times you're gonna have beautiful days that are going to be fulfilling, but there's going to be some days that make you second guess your decisions and choices in life. It's going to bring an element of drain sometimes, but it's going to give you beautiful days where you are rewarded with the outcomes that you will be witnessing from time to time.
Yes.
So if one has interest and one feels that they are a person that can contribute meaningfully towards our country's patient care system, I would say pursue medicine. It's a beautiful career. There's so many opportunities, and also in as much as you will have your formal training, attach yourself, make friends in the private space, get mentors in the lab space of medicine that you won't experience as much in school. And this is gonna open you up, and you're gonna learn that you could be a doctor that never gets to interact with patients but contributes to patient care from the lab space. You could be a doctor that doesn't interact with patients but contributes meaningfully to patient care through influence of policy, and leadership. And you could be a doctor that actually contributes meaningfully to our healthcare and actually drives our healthcare through advancements in tech. So for us to actually get to gain and grow as a health sector, we need to have young people that say, you know what, if there's anything I can offer in this space, let me not just go and learn to be a doctor. Let me go and learn whatever there is that I can contribute meaningfully. And when we have doctors that are open to that, then there's a high likelihood that we won't have only good hospitals, but we'll also advance more, because we have more young people that understand that other countries are far ahead when it comes to healthcare. We are a country that's doing so well when it comes to healthcare, but we can do so much better, and we should not box ourselves. We should not be scared to leave the public sector and go to private, but also we should know that without a strong public health system, then our health sector collapses. So it should not be a driving factor to say we want to be independent, we want to be in the business of medicine. Maybe the driving factor should be that we want to contribute meaningfully to people's lives. You know? Do it with without the thought of money, and let whatever financial incentives that you get, be it in the public sector or private sector, should be just a reward to appreciate you for your time and the contribution you are making. But that should not be the priority. You know, if one comes into the health space with an objective to make money, then the way in which they make that money will be very stressful to them. If you've got a bit of love for it, it's the right place. But if you think that the love is not as much as the love for money, find other ways to make money.
Medicine is not for you.
No, not at all. Not at all. It's gonna stress you out.
We did a bit of snooping. We did a bit of snooping, and we went onto your social pages, and we saw Uba. You have these treatments that you do. Is that part of medicine where you have these rejuvenation programs that you have? Is that part of medicine? Because that looks actually.
Yeah, you see a lot of the things that are offered now in the private sector, they are part of medicine. These are things that were taught in school also. But because we practice in the public sector, the government mainly doesn't fund cosmetic treatment. It doesn't fund what is not necessary in case of disease. So everyone will know that, everyone will tell you, if you are eating well, you also need to take your vitamins, because food on its own will actually run short in terms of supplying you with essential nutrients for optimal function. So now these advances in medicine have also offered us like other means of offering these vitamins, like in drips, some injections that we give to patients, like oral forms of pills that we give to patients. So these services that we offer, they are scientifically proven. I don't do anything to anyone that I'm not sure about the science behind it, because you know, we've been trained in a way where we need to question everything. So I always question, what's the science behind it? How can I explain it scientifically to this person? So all these things are actually important, but the problem is that a lot of people are not exposed to them, because our public health system doesn't fund them, because these are things that you're doing for your special needs and special requirements, and maybe your appearance and cosmetic reasons. So the government yet doesn't fund those things. So that's why we only offer them private.
Oh, okay. Doc, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for your meaningful and insightful contributions to our conversation this evening. We really do wish you all the best in all your future endeavors, and all the best. I know you say you're working in your hometown, so you probably know all the Madlaminis and all the Mateles, because ungumntana wendawo, you know. So in true WSU fashion, we want to say to you, to infinity and beyond. And thank you so much for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you so much for having me. Highly appreciate the session. You know, and also it has brought spark to me and reminded me of how far I've come, and also how our beautiful university has contributed meaningfully to actually setting me up, you know, for my career path. So I'll say I highly appreciate it, and I love what you guys are doing for the kids. It's quite a beautiful thing, because the information that maybe we lacked and how much we know about these careers before we even got into them is something that will be broken down by having such a space, and ensuring that before these kids commit to these careers, they're actually exposed to professionals in the professional space that have years of experience, that are going to share how the road has been for them, because maybe the limited information might also mislead kids to go into spaces that they later regret, and we do not want that. We want to make sure that everyone does something that they're happy to do. So yeah, thank you for having me, and have a lovely
weekend. All right. Thank you so much, Doc. Thank you for spending your late afternoon, early evening with us. Have a fantastic weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.